In this video on Google Sheets, I'm going to show you how to create and edit graphs. We're going to go into the Explore Your Data function of Google Sheets, how to take those graphs and charts that they create and customize them, as well as some additional little features that we can do with Google Sheets and graphs. Let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is maybe make a copy of this document by clicking up here under the attachments or looking down in the description so you can follow along and try some of these same things along with me. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is this little area down here that says Explore. Currently mine says that I have no recommendations, and that's essentially saying at the moment it has no graphs or charts that I can create based on the data that I have selected. If I put my cursor right on the data and hit the Explore option, you're going to see all of a sudden it's popped up a couple different graphs for me. One of them, of course, is a pie chart. One of them is a bar graph. Now I have a couple options here. I can drag this or insert this in, or I can hit View Full Size. So here it's allowing me to see this. It's saying 23.1% are true and 76.9% are false. And then hit the arrow here to see the other option, and once again this is just a pie chart based on that. Now the nice thing is I don't have to select the data, and this is the way you might do it before. You'd select it, then you'd go to insert, chart, and all that stuff there, and you'd have to pick. Right now what's happening is it's actually made a couple decent options for you right here. Just for grins and giggles, I'm going to take my graph right here and I'm going to insert it in there. So now it's doing a count of Boolean statements. I'm going to hit the X to make that go away, but if I ever need that, it's right down there again. Now, the nice thing is about their charts and graphs is everything is going to auto-update. So if I was to go through my is statements here and change something, it's going to update the data is going to update the graph. If I was to do this again with a bar graph, that would also change to reflect that. So my graphs auto-update with the Explore feature. I don't even need to insert a chart. It's going to do it for me. I just need to pick the one that I want. If I've dragged one out here and I want to get rid of it, I'm going to click on this little drop-down arrow here and I'm going to hit Delete Chart. Do that again right here, Delete Chart. Then hit X to close that out, but if you ever need it, it's right down there, the Explore. Even though it's saying no recommendations, if you select enough data or you click in there, it's worth popping out just to see what it's going to come up with. Let's look at some other data. I have some tables here of information that I want to see what it looks like in chart form. I did a plot of the Star Wars episode versus my enjoyment of it. So let's see what happens when I select that and click on the Explore Your Data. Now it's going to pop up a couple different things here. First one it's given me, so this is just off this first area, that one I'll do in just a moment. It's giving me a bar graph of my enjoyment versus the Star Wars episode. This one here is giving me a pie chart. Once again, I can easily drag those out, and yeah, that pretty much explains it. Episode 5, that was the best. Star Wars Episode 1, nope, do not enjoy it anymore. So that was pretty easy. Delete it if I don't want it. Then looked at this one a little bit bigger, and that's kind of neat. I can actually see the percentages. And of course I could customize these, but it's giving me just kind of a rough draft of what I want. Now what I'm going to do while keeping this Explore window open is just click down here, and you're going to notice all of a sudden it's popped up a couple different graphs for me. One of them is going to be a box office gross as a function as a pie chart here, so I can really kind of see the difference. So here's episode 1, episode 6. Let's look at my other one that I've got. Here I've got a bar graph, which is telling me all the different episodes graphing it out. In both of these, I didn't need to do a single thing for. I have the data already. I just select the data, and I click the Explore button, and it pops up all these different options. Select what you want, and I'll show you how to customize in just a minute. Last one I want to show you with Explore Your Data is my Star Wars Lego sheet that I've been using so much. This one has given me a lot of interesting data just by hitting that Explore function. Here I've got the Lego number versus year released. So if I looked at this one, this isn't the number of pieces, this is telling me the series that is. You can see more recently, since 2010, they've been releasing a lot more in those higher numbers there, the 75,000s. Prior to that, we were seeing those lower numbers, and that seemed to kind of have gone away there. So interesting data that comes off of that. Now those are things I wouldn't have thought to graph. The Google Explore Your Data did that for me. Histogram of Lego numbers. I've got pieces versus year released, some interesting data on there, where it's telling me, hey, you can see that they're releasing like maybe a really big one, more than like 3,000 pieces, once every year or two. It's not a common thing. Most of them are going to be those smaller sets right there. So it came up with that one all on its own. Histogram of pieces. Histogram just kind of puts things in different buckets, and you can see most of them. I'm going to click here where it says View Mode. Most of them, 146 of all these sets I have here, most of them are, less than 100 pieces. Then you got the occasional ones that are 3,000. There's only 3 items there. And then we've got our really high-end Millennium Falcon that's over 5,000. So this is kind of a breakdown. It tells you most LEGO sets are going to be the smaller size, and a bunch of other things. And one of the neat things it's doing is it's going to say some of them, here's the ranges from this to that, but 80% of the, so these are all things I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. It's just helping me explore and get information about my pieces. The median for this, I didn't even ask it to calculate median. It already did that as well. It's a lot of different things, all of them with Explore Your Data, something that works behind the scenes. Just click the button and it's either going to show or not show all of that data. Now, this isn't to say that you can't insert your own data, and you can certainly insert your own charts and whatnot if you need. There are a lot of different chart types: scatter plot, bar charts, pie charts. I really couldn't go into all of these right now, and some of these I don't entirely understand myself. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this website right here and I'm going to put it as an attachment over there. If you're looking for a particular thing, one of your best resources is going to be Google themselves, see what they got, and we'll take a look at a couple examples of them right here and how to customize them. Now, one of the downsides to using Explore Your Data is that it's not intelligent. It doesn't know certain things. It doesn't know that, yes, I am technically looking at all these things and I don't want to get rid of this data, but what I really want to see in my bar graph is I really just kind of want to see, let's just do it where I'm looking at episodes 1 through 6. One of the things that I could do is just select those here. So you'll notice it's no longer including those. So it's trying to do something on its own, but it is possible to add some guidance. We're going to take what it's got right here, the combination of the graphing of the box office gross versus the movie, and I'm going to drag this out and we're actually going to start editing this chart. Then I put that away because I don't need to find more data. I already have the data. Now we're going to start playing with it. Now, one of the things that I sort of demonstrated before was this view mode versus quick edit mode. Under view mode, if I put my cursor over each one of these bars, it's going to give me a little bit more of the detail. So obviously I can see the graph, but if I want the exact number, oh, it's $924 million for episode 1, that terrible, terrible film. So this is under view mode right there. If I go under edit mode, now I've got different options. I could change the colors of these. I could have the number on it as well. So this is under the quick edit mode. It's going to give me eye trauma if I keep that, so we'll go back to blue. Oh, and I also have options for font, all those different things that could be done there. What I want to do though is I want to go under Advanced Edit. So I'm going to click on that little drop down arrow and hit Advanced Edit. It's going to pop up a lot of different things here. First thing I want to do is I really don't need a legend. I kind of understand its box office gross. So I'm going to go right here where it says legend right, and I can move that to the top. I could move it to the bottom. Could even go inside, but I think I'm just going to get rid of it. Not really important for that sort of thing. So that's how I'd want to do that. I could change my font if I wanted. I could do my background, different colors, lots of different things that could all be done here. If I wanted to reverse it, now it's going to put episode 65432. So all these are little options that I have right there. Maximize is something that I like to do when I don't have a lot of room. You hit that and it's going to use all of the space in there. I could change my horizontal axis and all these different things. There's a lot of different things that you can play around with. I highly encourage you to do so. Once again, it's pretty much impossible to screw something up irreparably. If you don't like what you did, hit cancel and you'll go back to exactly the way it was at the beginning. I'll show you how to edit a couple more things on here. So here's my bar graph. I'm going to go once again into quick edit mode. This is not available in view mode. Under quick edit mode, if I select this area, I'm going to hit the move and resize. I do that, and now when I go to the edges, I have this little arrow that pops up. This allows me to move it up and down as necessary. You'll notice that sometimes I can completely eradicate some numbers there, so you want to be careful with that. I'm going to go a little bit wider. I'm going to go under there and get rid of my legend. Go back here, move and resize. So now I've got a lot of different things here. I don't necessarily need to have the movie, so I could delete that to cause a little bit more room. I don't necessarily need box office gross, so I'm just going to click on this, hit delete and hit enter. So those are kind of out of the way. That's already set at everything that I need up in the title, but I want to use a little bit more space to the right. So once again, move and resize as necessary. If I did want to rename the title, I could just double click on that. I got options for color, and I could do font if I wanted to advanced edit. Lots of different things possible with that. Now let's say all is said and done, and I really like what I have, but I changed my mind. I do want to put that episode 7 pre-sale in there because I want to be able to update that later on. Well, that's not a problem. I don't need to restart it all over with the Explore Your Data. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hit Advanced Edit. I'm going to go to Chart Types. Now here's where I do have a lot of option. If I didn't like that type there, currently this one's a horizontal bar graph. I could do a vertical column graph if I wanted. I'm going to keep it like this. But let's say I did want to add in that data about episode 7. Well, all I need to do right here is change the data range. Currently it is set from A11 down to B17. So if you'll recall, I kind of excluded the episode 7 presale in Star Wars The Clone Wars. Well, I can change that. I'm just going to click on that, reselect my data. So we'll keep out the Clone Wars for now. I'll hit OK, update, and now everything is as I need. So it kind of dynamically moved that out of the way there for me to make room for this one here. So it's very easy to change what data you actually have in there just by going under Advanced Edit, Chart Types, and then selecting what you want here. A lot of other options you can play around with, and I highly encourage you to do so. Remember, you can't screw it up. You're not affecting the data, just how you represent it. Worst case scenario, you hit undo if you don't like what you have. On my little fancy chart that I have right here, I'm going to show you how easy it is to take an existing chart and change that data range. So I'm going to take my lettuce height versus light color. I'm going to delete that chart, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a copy of this. So copy chart, and then I'm going to use Control V to paste. Now once again though, it's graphing off of this data right here. If I was to update this, it's going to be updating both of them. So I want to change this source right here to this data. Well, now we know how to do that. Advanced Edit, Chart Types, select my data, and hit OK. Hit Update, and now it's reflecting what I have right here. Once again, it's very easy to change the title. And just like that, I've made a copy of an existing chart and just modified it to fit my needs. Last thing I'm going to show you is how to take that graph that you've worked so hard on and how to either publish it to the web or save it as an image. Both of those, very simple to do. I'm going to click on my graph, click on the drop-down arrow, and I want to hit Publish Chart. Now it's going to give me a lot of different things that I could do here, lots of different stuff from all my different sheets. I just want to go with this one. I want to make it an interactive graph so that you can actually get some information from it. I'm going to hit Publish. It's going to say, are you sure you want to? I'm going to hit OK. I do want to publish this. I have a link right now. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it right here. The reason that I selected interactive is you'll notice that as I put the mouse over each one there, it's going to give me those numbers on that. If I didn't have them published right in there, then they wouldn't know necessarily. So this is a little bit more interactive than other ones there, and I published this to the web. If I wanted to change that and just make it an image, now I've done so here. So now this is a static, flat image, can't get anything from it. Both of those, though, valid options that you can do. Last thing, maybe I have this, maybe it's perfect, maybe it's exactly the way I like. Well, what I can do is under the drop-down arrow, hit Save Image, and it's going to download, and I can do whatever I need with it there. So, lots of different things that you can do with graphs. The Google Explore Your Data is probably the best place to start because it's probably going to make a graph off of just about anything you want, and then you pick what you want, customize it as necessary, and there's a lot of things that you can do with them after that. My best advice that I can give you with graphing is try it on your own, and there's a lot of really great resources out there for how to get the graphs that you really want with Google Sheets.